Hello everybody, my name is Zen and welcome to my first impressions for Encased, which is a sci-fi post-apocalyptic RPG. As you can see, that's the subtitle of the game there. This is one of those games that was kickstarted and then went into early access and just has been grinding away at development ever since it was playable. And I appreciate that. I also appreciate these kind of RPGs. It's a isometric turn-based RPG set in an alternate 1970s where something happens. This is literally as far as I've seen. I'm really excited to jump in. This is my jam. I love these kind of games. If you don't know, I've done plenty of playthroughs of similar games such as Divinity Original Sin 2 or Baldur's Gate 3. You can find them on the channel. Let's jump in and see what this is about. I'm sure we're going to have to create characters, and that's fun for me. Classic hard mode for those who have been playing RPGs for a long time and love challenges. Medium difficulty for those who want to focus on exploring the game world. But let's go classic, because that sounds right for us.
1971. We woke up in a different world, where the Cold War ended along with the Vietnam carnage. All because of the Dome. The Dome. A territory full of anomalous artifacts, phenomena, and organisms. We still don't know what it is. An alien city? Some kind of a testing ground or storage? Whatever it is, no living thing trapped under the Dome can escape it. Yet even this did not stop the research. The major powers created the Cronus Megacorporation to develop and explore the Dome. Its secrets became a lucrative business. The Spire station was built on top of the Dome to export the artifacts and import supplies and personnel. The city of Crystal Sands grew at the foot of the Dome, eventually becoming a major transportation hub. All this required thousands of employees, and there was no shortage of candidates. Romantics, pragmatists, and adventurers of all trades swarmed recruiting centers around the globe, seeking jobs at Cronus. You were one of those people. In 1976, your application was approved, and you went under the Dome towards the future. Whether a good one or a bad one, only time will tell.
Okay. You know what? I appreciate that world building. That was actually pretty interesting. We have the Thunderdome, or Pauly Shore's, what was it? Biodome. I don't know what it is. We'll find out. So I could pick a character here. Choose character. Character story is here. So Sigrun was born on a military base, fought as a mercenary in Central Africa, an unpleasant, pathologically unlucky woman. That feels like me. Accustomed to, minus the woman part, to charging forward in any situation. An avid fan of machine guns and knives. Martin Smith. Martin changed many professions. He was a bouncer, a loader, a stripper. You know what? I love this game already. An underground pugilist until he finally found a place under the Dome. I don't know why. I just wasn't expecting that. He knows how to fight and how to hurt people, but for some reason, others find him very likable. Frank Foley. Frank often has dreams of Vietnam, most of them horrid and revolting. There's no escape from them. Despite his best efforts, after leaving the army, Foley tried many jobs, but fate had its way. Once a soldier is forever a soldier, which is why Frank joined the Black Wing. And Abel Gaila, I can't pronounce that. Harsh trials of life, a couple of clinical deaths, and a painful divorce. All this did not break Abel. Abel? I think it's Abel. But made him a deeply religious person who sees the providence of God in every trial. You know what? I watched Midnight Mass recently. Freaking fantastic show. Definitely recommend. Isaac Crowley. Surviving a plane crash brought Isaac a fame he never asked for. Fleeing the attention of various reporters, he applied to Kronos, and as soon as his plea was approved, he immediately moved under the dome, into the Thunderdome. Nadezhda Cool. I'm not even going to try that. Picking fight after fight, going through a mental hospital and having no empathy whatsoever. She's always been a problem. Her parents, descendants of Russian migrants, persuaded her to go under the dome in order to somehow rid themselves of their unruly daughter. Ooh, that's mean. Margaret Fontaine. We'll go with that. Cool scar. Missing an eye on this little. I like that. Seventh daughter in a large family of farmers. Then how did she miss her eye? Margaret always felt a little out of place in the outside world. And as soon as the dome was found, she immediately felt an inexplicable attraction to it. The candidate test revealed her enormous psychic potential, and Margaret was accepted into Kronos. Boris Britvin. Stronger men were broken in prisons, but Boris turned out to be too uncontrollable and ferocious even for the Soviet correctional system, a violent prisoner who had repeatedly raised camp riots. He barely made it to the clean slate program and was sent under the dome out of harm's way. You know, I'm liking these. I think there's going to be a bunch of other fun stuff here. But I'm just going to try to pick one because we don't have all time to go through all of this. Although I may want to. This guy looks so goofy. Who's Rufus? Oh, wait. Okay, so we have our age, gender, wing. So this is like the wing that they're in. Obviously, you can edit your character. These are like some skills. Let's try to figure out what, basic RPG stuff. We're going to figure out what skills we want to do, and then we're going to jump in. So like psionics sounds fun. Tech, medicine, all of that stuff actually, high-tech weapons actually sounds quite fun. The thing is, psionics just sounds more fun because we're playing a sci-fi thing, so psionics just seems rad in comparison. What's this? Charm. Cool. Let's do something with psionics. And if we're gonna do that, there was one that said that they had psionics. High-tech weapons, 58. Oh my goodness. Why is their thing 58? Their medicine is 63 and tech 14, science 27. This person's always been quite average in her profession. Oh, you're telling me that? It's just 58 in tech weapons. What else we got? Who was the one? This is the stripper. That's right. What does he got? Does he? He's got melee weapons, hand to hand, heavy weapons. If he had psionics, I would have absolutely just gone all in. There was one person that we read had something about psionics. And actually, you know what? Oh, it was this one. Margaret. Oh, cool. Let's go with her. So her psionics is at 50. She has... Okay, so our stats here are muscle, physical strength. Yeah. Affect hit points, encumbrance. Cool. Perception. That's pretty self-explanatory. Affects initiative, learnability, precision, evasion, light weapons, heavy weapons, high-tech weapons, and piloting skills. Guts, constitution, stamina, overall health, but this affects hit points. Interesting. Regeneration, encumbrance, defense, class, fortitude, melee weapons. Okay. Charisma. She's not very charismatic. You know what's funny is because I typically play fairly charismatic characters. It'd be fun to play a character that has a 1 in charisma. This is gonna be fun. Brains, 3, not very smart. Deafness. Dexterity and reaction time, okay. Fortune, she's very unfortunate, and psyche is 10. Psi abilities and resistance towards psionic attacks. Affects initiative, resilience, learnability, psi damage, psionics, and psi skills. So there's some things that cross over. That's cool. Her abilities are cryostasis. Doesn't deal damage. Immobilizes the target for 1 round, but restores 25% of its health and makes it invulnerable. Cool. Castling. Swap places with a target. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. She's a chemist. She has biochemical damage plus 10. Ballistic calculations. When you concentrate, the air seems to be filled with the patterns of moving projectiles that your mind draws. She has minus 10 initiative for 3 rounds, but plus 15 precision for 3 rounds. Pretty good. Leg shot. Tactical rifle ability. Sure. Yeah. Reduces movement speed. Okay. Lodging disc. Causes laceration on the target. Cool. Ignite. Okay. Make him go on fire. Suicidal attack. Point blank attack, ignoring the blind spot. Interesting. Tracer reduces target's evasion. Phase shift. All right, this sounds fun. Analytical mind. Yeah, this sounds really fun. I'm not going to go too far into her stats here. I think we should just select and go. And dive in and see what this game is all about. The Dome is an international project of unprecedented scale. I will go as far as to say that humanity has come all this way to get exactly where we are now. Wars, slavery, genocide. All these efforts will pay off handsomely. Wait a moment. Bad phrasing. Cut that bit, will you? Interview with Cronus Foundation Deputy Head of Public Relations. Oh, conversations. Interacting with different characters is an important part of the game. To start a dialogue, click on the character, and if they are set to talk to you, a dialogue interface will show up. From conversations, you can find out valuable plot information, clues, and even receive tasks. Choose your lines carefully. Careless words can cause resentment or provoke a fight. Cool. So, what do we got here? So, I am her. Can I talk to Quentin?
The orange is dressed in a new jumpsuit. The shiny badge on his chest reads Quentin Bisley, laborer. He's side-eyeing the screen skeptically. Despite his tired, grim expression, his gaze is open and friendly. However, the general impression is unmistakable. There's something frightening about Bisley.
Ask him how he ended up in prison.
The orange's face stretches into a broad smile, bearing his dentures to the world.
Like everyone, duh. In a black car, under guard. There's other guys, too. The ones who go through the front door.
He nods at the black-winged woman beside him. Her nose wrinkles in displeasure, but she says nothing.
Okay, so she's a guard. Ask about the bracelets. No, I don't need to do that. You know what? I like this UI. This is, again, this is all first impressions. I've never seen any of this. This UI, I like. It reminds me of old school Fallout games, like Fallout 1 and 2. And then Wasteland as well. The new Wasteland is fantastic. Definitely. If you're like, this is a fun looking game, do Wasteland and the Shadowrun games. Definitely suggest those. Very, very similar. Can I talk to the guard?
A tall woman is watching an ad playing on the monitor, arms crossed. The polished to a shine badge on her black overalls reads Elsa Olafson, Security Service. She glances at you and offers her hand in a businesslike manner.
Greetings. Please take all necessary precautions. By that I mean, don't turn your back on him.
Elsa nods at the orange.
So if I was part of the Silver Wing, I'd be able to answer with this, but I'm not. That's cool.
I just follow orders. Even if his crime was embezzlement, I have to keep him cuffed. Those are the rules.
Olafson shrugs in a sharp, mechanical way, as if racking the slide of an assault rifle.
Our friends from the administration didn't deign to inform me about this man's record. Could be I'm escorting a serial killer. It's corporate policy, you know.
She gives the silver a vengeful look.
Where's the silver? I'm assuming one of these is a silver, so let's go talk to him.
A guy wearing thick spectacles thrusts out a sweaty hand.
I do not want to touch that hand. I don't want to touch that hand at all.
He glances down at your badge.
Ah, it's you. I found your file extremely interesting. And your CV, wonderful. Inspiring, really. When I had the opportunity to look over the files of my future colleagues, I couldn't resist. I don't want to sound boastful, but silver level clearance has its advantages.
Monty winks.
Ask him what he saw in my file.
Monty makes a ring with his thumb and forefinger.
You were number 63,784 on the waiting list, but you were lucky enough to get into the Dome after only 16 months. Besides that, zero, nada, absolutely nothing. You're a dark horse for both the Foundation and myself. How exactly did you end up in this wing?
I could tell him that I'm a good mechanic, and the Dome is where people with your skills are most needed. I can say that I'm good at computers. The most advanced hardware in the world is found under the Dome, or admit that you're fond of technology, comics, and sci-fi, and that you've dreamed of finding yourself in such a place. Yeah.
James smiles condescendingly.
Yeah, my little schoolboy nephew's the same.
Oh,
he loves all those bizarre space travelers, like
punch him in the
Captain,
face.
What's his name? Hyena? Or Hound? No matter. You two would get along well.
They're action figures, not dolls.
An
Don't make fun of me.
silence rises between you. and Monty abruptly changes the subject. He taps the narrow illuminator panel with one finger.
Look, there's a storm rising. The lightning is strange. Green. Should lightning be green? This is my first sandstorm.
Well, good luck with that.
A man with a mustache and a blue jumpsuit is standing at the window, studying the construction site below through the occasional break in the clouds. His badge reads Igor Patan, planner. The blue taps on the glass with one finger and gestures you to come and take a look. Seems like he doesn't speak English.
And I don't have enough influence to answer.
The thin, pale young woman is sitting at the window, leaning against the illuminator. The glass is slightly fogged with her breath. She turns to you. Her shiny badge reads Tomoko Kimura, physiologist.
We've crossed the border. No way back now. Even traveling by the funicular wasn't so thrilling.
The white presses small hands to her blushing cheeks.
You were thinking, why have no children been born under the dome? I've got a working hypothesis, but I'm not ready to share it yet.
She says softly, as if answering a question you didn't ask.
I did notice a moment ago there that there is a barter, so you can trade with people just like any of these other games, but there's also a bribe, and I find that interesting. That opens up a bunch of possibilities gameplay-wise to me that I find exciting, because like I said before, I typically play charismatic characters, and if I'm able to bribe them or persuade them to do other things, I think that's fun. We're going to do our perception, because our perception is 5. Ask Kimura if she sees the dark stain on the outer surface of the dome.
Kimura peers through the glass in the direction you indicate.
Oh, that's the aircraft that crashed into the dome during the first expedition. I believe that's a wing fragment, and there's some white canvas. What do you think that is? Maybe a parachute?
The white shakes her head, bewildered.
I just can't believe it. It's all true. We're on our way to meet the future.
Ask what she meant by "we've crossed the border."
Kimura shoots you a surprised look.
You're familiar with the details of the briefing, right? To put it simply, the dome is a selectively permeable environment.
The white draws an invisible hemisphere in the air.
Inorganic objects may exit the dome without difficulty, but any living creature dies if transported back to the outside world. That's why we're all stuck here for an indefinite period of time.
I have pretty high science. Propose a hypothesis. The lack of fertility in women under the dome is related to field activity.
Kimura listens without interrupting, as if considering your every word.
It's quite possible. I would like to set up an experiment to test this in practice.
She cuts off abruptly. You exchange glances with the rapidly blushing Kimura.
Not in that sense. I mean, yes, in that sense, but it is science, you know? It's quite serious.
Offer to help her test her hypothesis before it's too late.
She purses her lips shyly.
This experiment requires at least one man.
Kimura blushes even more.
I mean, oh, Drat, you've got it all wrong. I meant to say that one of the participants in the experiment should be a man and the other should be a woman, which should be obvious.
That's funny. That was pretty well done. Right, what do we have? We have activate stealth. I've got a fist punch. I'm assuming we just need to go ahead and leave, but this is a good setup. You know, the dome, you go in it, you can't get out. And we're here to do science, to figure out why.
Stopping by the door's porthole, you watch as the ground slowly approaches. It looks brown-black through the tinted glass and smoky blue at the horizon. It almost seems like the clouds are pulling apart there. Your eye is drawn to the cluttered eastern section of the dome, where you see a block of warehouses and something resembling an observation deck. The real dome doesn't resemble its image from the ads at all. There are no snow-white cities or vast highways to be seen here. Looking more closely, you can make out a single, lonely road leading north. A few sheds, a radar installation, and the glittering antenna of a radio tower emerge from the mists. Yes, engineers will have plenty of work here. Just as you're about to move away from the window, you notice a whirlwind beginning to form above the ochre plain. The gathering storm drifts unhurriedly above the desert, a crown of green lightning flashing at its core. Clearly no ordinary weather phenomenon. It must be one of those anomalies. You freeze by the window, unable to avert your gaze.
Okay. I can stand up on my tippy toes and try to make out the buildings down below. Stay that way until landing. I could stay where I am, trying to see if I could spot the mysterious forefather structures until landing, or stay at the window and watch the whirlwind until landing. Yeah.
The outlines of the landing site, blurred by clouds of dust, appear behind the greenish glass of the porthole. The capsule shudders as the braking devices engage.
This is really cool. I am really enjoying this. This is a cool setup that they have going on. Okay, new events. Can I open the door? Is everybody gone? Okay, we're all camera control. In Encased, you can rotate the camera using the Q or the E and Q keys, as well as the zoom in and out by pressing brackets. Camera is not tied to a character. You can move it using WASD. Excuse me. To return to the standard view, click tab. Cool. So just like what I'm used to. I like the little dialogue things there. That very pretty. The UI so far is very pretty.
Come on now, or you'll miss everything.
A cheerful man in a white lab coat grabs you by the sleeve. A badge reading Ludovico Nuzzi, scientific analyst, export department, dangles loosely on his clean uniform, which still smells pungently of washing powder.
Look over there.
He points upward with a sharp, wide gesture and hands you his field binoculars.
Take the binoculars and look where he's pointing. Sure.
You raise the binoculars to your eyes. Under fourfold magnification, the whirling cloud above the rust-colored plains looks even stranger. Its core glows with flickering green light and flashes rhythmically, and that rhythm seems to form a complicated pattern. Nuzzi bends close to your ear.
Fascinating. Do you want me to bring some filters? If we intercept the red and blue spectrums, we'll see something amazing. It's like a signal, some kind of message.
I have a reconnaissance thing. Stop watching the storm and look at the horizon. Yeah.
Without tearing your gaze away from the binoculars, you turn around slowly, studying the dome's horizon. It's somewhat unexpected that the dome looks horribly empty. Your eyes find some construction pits dug directly in the sand, and concrete blocks laid beside them. There are almost no roads, or not sealed ones. Only one highway with yellow surface marking stretches among the sand drifts.
Interesting. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and
As he
leave
looks
him.
from you to the capsule and to the landing terminal entrance, he flings his arms up.
Oh, mi scusi. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. You'd better get going or you'll be late for check-in. Your colleagues are already inside, and the storm is growing stronger. Yeah, the storm is growing stronger.
The white mutters in fascination, eyes glued to his binoculars, which is fixed on the spinning whirl of clouds.
Very interesting. I like how I said that my compatriots are already there. Yeah, they're not. I was busy talking to you, but they stood still. When I talk to you, time stands still. All right, where are we going? I like the aesthetic so far. It's kind of reminiscent of, oh, what's that game I just played? Deathloop, and honestly, digging it. Throughout the game, you will perform various tasks, some of which lead you through the story, as well as others that reveal different aspects of life under the dome. You can always find out the task status and read the details in the data section with the L key. Okay. For log. L for log. That's what you gotta remember. Quest log. Or mission log, depending on what's going on. I don't feel like I need to trade anything.
Never thought this would happen.
If I were doing this playthrough as my own playthrough, I'd go through and talk to everybody. But the reason I'm not going to is because if you guys want to do that, by all means, go ahead and do that. Ooh, can I like search this guy's briefcase? I don't think I'm very sneaky.
Come up to the desk, please. I'll register you.
Okay.
A tall receptionist watches you from behind his desk with a bored, haughty look. He waves impatiently at you to approach. The employee glances at you indifferently. His upper lip is ever so slightly curled in contempt.
All new employees must register first thing. Come up to the desk, please.
The nameplate on the desk tells you you're talking with Dean Rayhet, administrator. The administrator slaps himself on the forehead.
Ah, I almost forgot the regulation pre-registration greeting. Just a second.
Rayhet produces a reel-to-reel tape recorder from beneath the desk, rewinds the tape to the beginning, and presses play. The speakers explode with a harsh, crackling sound, over which the tick-tick of a metronome slowly grows louder. Solemn music begins to play, and the administrator's face takes on a serious expression.
Dear employee, on behalf of the Cronus Foundation, I, Administrator Dean Rayhet, welcome you to your new life under the dome.
The administrator clears his throat and continues.
By joining our company, you choose the path of science and progress. You are among mankind's best, and we ask that you live up to this.
Dean squints down at the monitor.
Deserve this title. Do your job honestly. Obey the law. Respect your colleagues and...
The music fades, and the administrator finishes his speech.
And together we will build the best possible future for all mankind.
Dean puts the tape recorder away.
Now that we're done with the official greeting, I'll register you and upgrade your Selectron. Okay?
Say that you're ready and begin the registration? Sure.
Dean's hands hover over the keyboard. He gives you a nod.
Dictate your information to him, or pass him a note, which you've written out your information in advance. Oh, that's nice.
The administrator squints at the paper in his outstretched hand before setting it next to the keyboard and entering the information into the database. Rayhet scans the computer screen.
So your position in the waiting list was 63,784. You've been assigned to Magellan Station. A special bus will bring you there after a series of briefings. Please pass me your Selectron so I can update the firmware.
Dean snaps the docking port of your pass to a recess in the casing of his computer. The administrator returns your Selectron.
Now you have first-level clearance for a Blue Wing employee. You have access to storage, the repair bays, and various workshops. Your Selectron also has a built-in universal key that opens the hatches accessing the air shafts.
Dean continues.
All new employees have a short list of tasks to perform on arrival. Do you want to hear all the details, or just the short version?
Short version, please.
Rayhet snorts.
To make it short, get your uniform from storage, your weapons from the armory, pass the Psi abilities test, and complete your weapons training at the training zone. Then learn how to use the scanner, avoid anomalies, and properly catalog anything you observe. Last, go to the waiting room and wait for the bus to Magellan.
Dean sits back in his armchair.
That's it. I hope there aren't any questions.
No, that's fine.
Rayhet claps his hands in satisfaction.
Great.
He reaches for the tape recorder, but thinks better of it.
Protocol calls for a little welcoming preamble, but dash it all, that's nonsense. Welcome to Concord Station.
As he's about to turn away, Dean suddenly remembers something.
Oh yes, I sent your mail to your Kairos. Check your new messages. Well, that's all, I think.
Cool. Kairos Mail, messages sent to you by various game characters are stored in the messages section of Kairos. Messages from some employees' computers also end up there. All new messages are in the Inbox tab, and after reading are moved to the Archive tab. Cool. So far, so good. Can this open? Yeah, okay. I'll just open it with my Blue Wing thing. We should look at our... So... My story. Oh, cool. They have like a whole thing there. Main quests. Newcomer. You left the Spire Station. Blah, blah, blah. Step 1. Contact storekeeper Sydney at Concord Station storage facility to collect your field uniform. Oh, there's Sydney.
Behind the storage counter, you see a small, neat guy. His gingery hair shines with something like brilliantine. His badge says, Sydney Maynard, storekeeper.
Oh, what a lovely angel. Came down from the heavens. Good morning, my lady. Is it something urgent? By the way, my name's Sydney. My friends call me Sid, though I prefer a different name. Want me to whisper it to you?
He smiles languidly, leaning on his elbows against the counter. The effect is more laugh-inducing than playful. Never taking his gaze off you, he reaches under the counter, loses his balance, and clips his chin on the desktop as he falls down. A full minute later, he reappears, grimly rubbing his jaw with a thick logbook. He thumbs through it for a long period, squinting nearsightedly. Eventually, he gives up the struggle and reluctantly puts on his glasses. The silver finally stops and pins down a particular page with his finger.
This is your first uniform requisition, right? You can also purchase any equipment you need for the desert directly from me.
Maynard smiles at you over his glasses, practically stripping you naked with his gaze.
This guy's creepy.
Your voice is enchanting, my lady. I could listen to it forever. Right now, you need to listen to me. I am going to give you some instructions. These are the rules.
I don't care. Can I skip these
The
instructions?
silver disappears into the back for a while and returns with a small package. Unfolding the package, Maynard shows you a brand spanking new uniform. Sydney half unfolds the clothes. A jacket, high boots, and turnip pants with patch pockets.
The technician's uniform screams function over fashion. Parts of the uniform are rubberized to protect you while working with electricity.
He raises a finger.
One more important thing. In accordance with Order 16-225, helmets and gloves are not issued, but they're available for purchase from me. Please bear in mind that a full set includes headgear or a mask, jacket, trousers, gloves, and boots.
Sydney hands you the package.
Here's your uniform.
The silver follows you with his gaze.
Okay. Are we able to equip our stuff? Got our aviator jacket. Cool. We got our dataless boots and our belted pants. We're a real engineer now. So you guys probably are starting to feel the exact same thing I am, which is a bit of fatigue. Yes, that is indeed dialogue fatigue. Now, here's the thing. I have, step 2, before heading into the training zone, you need to get yourself a weapon. Talk to Margarita. Okay. Oh, I don't know what that was. I hit a button and something happened. That is not who I'm talking to. So the thing is, like, in games like this, let's take... What's going on down there? Let's take Divinity Original Sin 2, for example. You get in, you make your character, and almost immediately it throws you into combat. It's like, here's some dialogue stuff, you're doing all of this, and then shortly thereafter, boom, you're in combat. And the reason that is good is because a game like this, you're going to be spending so many hours in, like hundreds of hours in some of these RPGs, just exploring and talking to people. But when you haven't gotten that itch scratched for any kind of like action or anything that's just kind of fun and exciting, this happens in normal narrative stories as well, then you start losing your attention to the game and you start getting fatigued. And now that is, again, these are all first impressions here. That is exactly what I'm feeling at this point. It's probably what you guys are feeling, like, okay, this is cool. This game is cool, but like, come on, like, can we move on to the fun stuff, to move on to the excitement? And this is a hard pacing thing for game designers to do correctly. Sometimes you pace it out too quickly. Sometimes like this, it's too slow, and it's different for everybody. And that's the thing, is some people will say that, no, this is fine. And other people will say that, no, we needed a combat situation like 10 minutes ago. But that's not happening. We just need some kind of drama. We don't have any drama yet. And because we don't have drama, it's getting a little boring. But let's push on.
The smell of good tobacco wafts off this tall, portly woman from a meter away. A black lacquered pipe, an open logbook full of signatures, and a metal flip calendar sit on the counter in front of her. A small nameplate reads, Margarita Tkachenko. The woman fixes her coppery hair with one hand and casually lights her pipe.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Her voice is deep and gravelly.
Ask for my weapon.
Margarita thumbs back a couple of pages in her logbook.
I see. This was your first receipt.
She glances at her Kairos, looks at you, snorts, and retreats to the shelves. Tkachenko returns in a few minutes holding a large gun.
You like big toys?
I beg your pardon.
She presents the weapon in her outstretched hands.
Take this and sign here. There are more fun things in store, but they're not for everyone. You see?
After racking the slide, Tkachenko points the gun at the ceiling.
High firing rate and good accuracy, even in burst fire mode. Enjoy. Just don't point it at me.
The black hands you the weapon.
I can accept the firearm carefully with the barrel aimed downward, like you were trained. Take the weapon in one hand, point it at Tkachenko, and declare, "This is my turf now." Grab the weapon and sling it over your shoulder. Or say you're no good with heavy weapons. Now let's go with the first one.
Margarita drags on her pipe and releases a puff of thick, yellow smoke.
I see you know the rules and won't cause problems.
Yeah, thank you, and
The
leave.
armorer shrugs, puffing indifferently on her pipe.
It's the least I could do. We have a requisition list from the Silvers. For free, you receive only rubbish. If you want the real deal, check out the weaponry shop. Or me.
Leaning over the counter, the black points somewhere off to one side.
Now it's time for your training. Fatherby is already waiting for you by the big gate. He's a bit dotty, but a good man nonetheless. But before the training zone, go see that wizard guy with his toothpicks. Be careful around him, though. Don't let him pitch you a line. Psychic my ass.
She winces in disgust.
Cool, this is going to be fun. Functional keys. Encased has several modifiable keys that can make your gameplay much more comfortable. Hold down Shift to view a more detailed tooltip for an item. Hold Control to attack characters and doors. Hold Alt to highlight interactive objects and objects laying around on the ground. That's actually, oh, well, that's not nice to know. Moving between locations. Game world is vast and divided into many separate locations, some of which may be temporarily inaccessible. Transitions between locations usually look like doors sealing off a darkened area, hatches, or specifically marked areas. If the way is free, click on them and the character will open the door, or open the portal and move through. Is this the guy we're supposed to talk to?
An engineer in a bright blue jacket is tinkering with the door lock, cursing under his breath non-stop. Blowing a curly strand of hair off his forehead, he turns to you.
You're a newcomer, right? It's a straight-up open house here today.
He offers you his hand. According to his badge, this is Maxim Penkovsky, technician. The technician slaps the door with one hand.
You have to wait until I'm done. Some orange jammed up the lock with chewing gum just for a laugh. They're like animals, those oranges, marking their territory. If you ask me, they're too gracious about those bastards in Crystal Sands.
I can ask him where he can open the door, or whether he can open the door, or ask another route to the boarding area. I'm just going to go ahead and leave. Locations lockpicking. Cool. You can lockpick. So if I go to my... Oops, wrong one. If I go to my log and scroll down, I got my field uniform. Before heading to the training zone, you need to get yourself a weapon. I got that. Collected weapon. Step 3. I'm going to use psi abilities. Talk to instructor Andre. Okay. Well, where's he at? I don't believe it was in there. Oh, it's this guy here. Okay.
Well, you've got quite an aura.
A lean silver with thick black hair and a huge cigar clamped in his teeth is sitting in front of you. As you approach, he flashes a sly grin and slowly raises an outstretched hand above the table. Something really weird happens. All the paper clips, pencils, scattered toothpicks, and bits of trash float up from the table and hang in the air. The silver badge reading Andrei Mihai, Psi Instructor, floats up as well.
I'm going to use my psionics, show that you have skills as well.
You thrust your hand forward, and your outspread fingers emit barely visible sparks of energy. Pencils, paper clips, toothpicks, and pistachio shells dance chaotically in the air. The silver sticks out his lower lip as if to say, not bad, and gives you a thumbs up. The objects clatter back onto the table.
Here for the briefing, huh? Shall we get to it?
He takes the cigar out of his mouth and exhales a lush cloud of smoke.
Let's do it.
The silver props his elbows on the table.
Anyway, here's the deal. It's more profitable for people with a high psyche to study psionics. Give me your hand.
This guy looks like a smug Adam Driver.
Not waiting for an answer, he grabs your hand with strong, dark fingers. He jerks his hand back at once, then touches you again, carefully and distrustfully.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know you've got one hell of a talent, huh? Slimy little bastard, you. You want to take my office, I know. But you sure got some power there.
The silver takes a thin glove covered in talc from his desk and passes it to you.
Look, a glove, right? But it isn't just a glove. This is an ooh mama hold me tight glove. It takes energy from your noggin, your psyche, and pew, concentrates it.
He counts off on his fingers.
Learn psionics. Put on the glove. Transform energy into the necessary shape. That's the whole briefing. Simple? Simple. Now to your questions, huh?
Don't need questions. But I'll take it. So thanks. Can I equip primary weapon? Oh, that's cool. Oh, can I equip secondary weapon and make this my primary weapon? There we go. That's how. Oh, and now we've got. Ah, that's really smart. So I can switch between my weapons. I like that quite a lot. All right. What was I supposed to do now? Let's go to our log. I like that I could just be like, what was the next one? Undergo basic military training. Follow instructor Winston Botherby at the Concord station. Okay. I'm assuming that it's this way. That would be my assumption. But oh, way is blocked. Okay, can I get in there? Way is blocked. Can I ask her where this guy is?
Tkachenko grunts agree.
No. Okay, that's fine. She pointed somewhere, so my assumption is that it is. Oh, I can search janitor's gear. I can loot things.
I'll complain to the Silvers about that idiot. They'll take the appropriate measures.
They're gonna complain to me? Seriously? Disinfectant. Mop. I don't want any of that. Can I unlock this?
I hate those oranges. The hell do they break locks for?
Lockpicking. Tool required. Required ability rank 1. No, I don't have that. Use door? No. Psy-shock. I could Psy-shock the door? What does he want me to do?
Maxime is examining the chewing gum.
I don't need the boarding area. All right. I think the person that maybe it was over here. I think that's what it is. I think I have to go talk to this person potentially. See what they need.
I'm all ears.
You see, there's no dialogue here. Cheapo, silver woman with a red warning lamp in her hands. Okay. Girl waves at lamp in the air, trying to attract some attention. No. I do not believe that this is the person I'm looking for. So who was I supposed to go to? Let's look. Undergo basic military training. Find instructor Winston Botherby at the Concord station. Oh, maybe it is that I need to talk to this guy and get this to open.
Maxime is examining the chewing gum.
Ask him if he can open it up.
Penkovsky grunts angrily.
I wish I could. I'm gonna have to disassemble, clean, and reassemble it to get it working. It's work I don't need, and all thanks to some idiot.
Maxime extracts a thin, sharp, precision probe from behind his ear and dangles it in front of you.
Though there's another way. You want to learn something about picking locks?
Oh, okay, I see.
It's a useful skill in all sorts of situations.
He looks at you expectantly.
Sure.
The blues getting excited.
All right, looky here.
Penkovsky presses his pick lock, and an odd device resembling a hybrid of a screwdriver and a can opener into your hand.
Using a mechanical pick lock is easy peasy. No special skill required. They wear out after a few locks. While the old-fashioned kind is another thing entirely. Cheap, one use. But one has to know how to use it right. That's a tool for a master.
Maxime takes out another pick lock and crouches by the door. He gives you a quick lesson on how to pick a lock.
By the way, you can carry your tools in your belt. It's much handier to have them right there.
Penkovsky shows you his utility belt, where he keeps all kinds of tools and gadgets.
Actually, finding tools under the dome is no problem at all. There are even devices for hacking terminals and so on.
Maxime hoists up his belt. The blue solemnly raises his index finger.
And one more thing. Always use brand name stuff if you can. Groovy produces good kids. Modus and Supercolor do too. They've all got fat contracts with Cronus, so they care about quality.
He looks at the door again.
Damn these locks. Though I'd rather be doing this than fixing hab pods. Those are a real pain in the ass.
Okay, so is it going to let me lockpick it now?
Repeat. Get a lockpick and attach it to your utility belt.
Oh, okay. So he's letting me know. Don't be a dummy. Add to belt. Okay, can I add this to belt? So if I have this on my utility belt.
Apply it to the door. Yes, apply is the proper word.
Right. Okay, I see. All right. Well, now we know how to pick lock.
You're doing great.
Lockpick. There we go.
Welcome Under the Dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization.
Who was I supposed to talk to here? Training grounds. Yes, that's where I would like to go. Although, it won't let me. Try to open the door to training grounds. There's a warning buzz. The instructor frowns angrily at you from behind the counter. No one enters the training zone without my say-so, and I didn't say so. Come here.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I see. It's a guy in here. I didn't even see that guy.
The middle-aged black is sitting behind the counter with his hands in his lap. The buttons and zippers on his uniform are polished to a shine, and even his badge, Winston Botherby, instructor, has been buffed so much it hurts to look at it. Botherby frowns as you approach.
Your first act is being late for the briefing. Are you going to be late for your funeral as well?
Snap to attention and report that you're here for assignment and want to receive instruction.
Black looks you over.
Yes, I see the weapon received check mark. Looks like you are fully prepared to disappoint me. You are prepared, right, employee?
Yeah, yes.
Botherby leans over the counter and directs you to the doors.
Behind this door is a combat simulation computer. Launch it and begin your course.
Cool. See, this is what I wanted.
His index finger.
The conditions in the training zone closely simulate those one would experience in the field. Your goal is to avoid getting lost and dying of dehydration. And try to aim the barrel away from yourself when shooting.
Pulling a notepad from his pocket, the instructor jots down your name.
Your goal is to hit 3 targets. I'm going to monitor you and advise as necessary. And try not to burst into tears. That's all.
Salute him and leave. Cool. Let's see what this is like. I've got some thoughts that I would like to share afterwards. Terminals. Throughout the game, you will often have to interact with various computers. Terminals contain useful information, allow you to turn on disabled mechanisms, and open locked doors. If you accidentally or intentionally kill one of the main characters, then information on how to progress further in the game can almost always be found in their terminal. It's convenient. It's a good way to get around the whole you killed a character that was important. How do you proceed with the main quest? Preparing for combat. Before entering combat, make sure you are prepared. Check your and your companion's health. Move your weapons from inventory to the hand slots. Load your gun if necessary. Prepare medicine to counter health damage. And consider the sequence of your actions and the direction of your attack, or, well, just make a bloody mess. Following text glows from a small amber-colored screen. Welcome to the Sherman Holographic Combat Emulation System. Please select a program. Enter Alpha. Picture slowly changes. Looking closely, you can see the lines are being written one by one. Sherman System, Alpha Squad enters the battle. Proceed to training zone. Turn-based combat. Encased has a turn-based combat system. The move sequence of your opponents, allies, and yourself is determined by initiative. Action points, AP, are spent on moving, using abilities, and attacking. If after performing all your desired actions, you still have some action points left, you can spend them on increasing your defense class by clicking on the cover button, V. Or you can finish the current turn and save them for the next one, space. Okay? So for me, it looks like I'm going first here. I think I would like to get into cover, particularly right here would be fine. And then I only have 2 AP remaining. Can I do anything with my weapons? I could do a tracer round, or I could do kneeling position. Disc throw, machine gun, and tactical rifle ability. Precision plus 30%. You assume the aiming position, or butt stroke for melee attack. Can I do anything with this stuff? Psi shock is 4, phase shift is 6. Self-hurt target within 15-meter radius does not affect larger targets, and this is a melee damage ability. Or max weapon range, 14, really? Huh, okay. So let's swap to this and do Tracer on him. Marked target. Oh, now I'm hit. Ah. He's gonna come over here. I like that I can hold shift to speed up combat. That's kind of a cool thing. Environment in combat. In almost every battle, you are surrounded by interactive objects, traps, pools of toxic goo, flames, or a barrel of fuel that can be blown up with a well-aimed shot. All this gives you an advantage or, conversely, complicate your life. True? Okay. If I switch to this and do Psy-Shock, is that going to kill this thing? Let's try it. Okay, and then I have 3 AP. None of these have 3. Actually, I could butt stroke. Let's do that. Bam, gain 13 XP. Heck yeah.
You aren't completely hopeless.
The spatial audio is kind of weird here. There was one other thing that it was telling me. I'm gonna go ahead and skip my turn. I'm gonna see. Oh, well, I guess this guy's in melee range now. I can't do anything because my turn on that is pretty much up. But he is a melee person. It's a mine. Can I teleport him? Like right here? Okay. But counterpoint, can I then shoot that? No, I can go into kneeling position though. So let's do that. Status effects. Various actions such as eating food or taking medicines may impose certain status effects on you. They can last for different times and be positive or negative. Some attacks and abilities can apply a status effect that changes the characteristics of the target. For example, bleeding or poisoning will gradually reduce health. Okay. That sucks that he was just able to run over there. Like, what's the point of teleporting him then? I'm sure if I had more people in my party, I could do fun things with that, though. Wait, let's knock him about. And then let's do a single shot. Not the firing line. No, that sucks. All right, let's do a single shot at him. Take him out.
Can't help but say I'm stoked.
This guy's kind of mean. Can I move now? Cool. Did I win? Dialogue with weapon drawn. Make sure that you don't have a weapon drawn when you start talking to somebody. Nobody likes to have a gun poked in their face. Unequipping the weapon isn't necessary. Just left button click the weapon icon in or on the panel at the bottom of the screen and the character will holster it. Oh, that's nifty.
Botherby nods grandly.
You made it through training without making a total fool of yourself. Congratulations. I'll send a report up the chain about your completely unanticipated success. You're dismissed, employee.
All right, so that must be the thing basically finished, the tutorial. So what's the last thing? Master the use of scanner. This will be explained to you by the instructor, Sebastian von Ulden at the Concord station. Yeah, who the heck is that? Where's that person at? Probably this way, I would assume. We'll have to go through. Registration here. That is not, that ain't no Sebastian. That's Nelson. These are all reds. It's funny, but it's.
Yeah, you, lady. Stop blinking like a dummy. I'm talking to you. Don't scrunch your face at me. Come here. I'm talking business.
Okay. Fine. Let's see what he's up to. Before you see a large hairy orange with funny round little glasses. He has a pack of fish snacks on his hand. He dips his finger in it, carefully fishing a small piece out. Daryl Gilmore, loader, says the badge on his chest.
Oh, hello there.
He wrestles his glasses on his nose and looks quickly around. Then he puts an arm around your shoulders and pulls you to him. Long story short, kitten, I have an offer, a business offer. You smell what I'm cooking? Here's the thing. Do you see the hole behind my back? I've just returned from there, from shipping. I've been moving some crates. They weren't sealed for transit yet, so I checked a few of them out, and looky, there are relics inside. I thought they were rubbish at first, but no, these are solid relics. Category 2, hold on. Scoops a handful of orange dried crumbled something out of his pack and puts it in his mouth. Chews and swallows, then goes on. Anyway, I can't get to those crates. There are guards in there now, but you look like the sort who easily blends in. Would you sneak in there like a ninja, grab something that's laying about? Don't forget about me, of course. No, I'm gonna refuse. This is teaching me stealth, but I haven't learned the scanner, so I actually don't even know who that's supposed to be from. What was it? What was the name again? Sebastian Van Ulden. This is the thing, is this is fine and all, but I do kind of feel like I feel a little lost. Like, where am I even at on this map? I think I'm up over here. There's Sebastian. Okay, so Sebastian is down over here. Would never have known. Got some criticisms, but I'll talk about those in a moment.
You see a tall scientist in a white lab coat, bathed in the dim lamplight. He almost appears to be hovering above the laboratory floor. The man turns at your footsteps. He's holding a paper clipboard and a pencil. His shimmering silver badge reads Sebastian Van Ulden. He glances from you to the glittering watch on his wrist.
I want us to respect one another's time. Please speak loudly, clearly, and to the point. You must be the newcomer I was told about. Nice to meet you.
Finished with his unusual greeting, he offers you his thin hand.
Just keep the greeting and ask him to train you as quickly as possible.
The amiability in Van Ulden's eyes winks out like a light. He looks at you coldly, but calmly.
My instructions will take as long as I deem necessary. I lecture, you listen. Am I clear?
And this right here is basically the perfect time to just go in and say that even in a very large RPG, talking, Dragon Age or Cyberpunk or The Witcher 3, big RPGs with a lot of budget, they don't mess around. They respect the player's time. Games like Wasteland and Divinity and Baldur's Gate all do the same thing. They do not waste your time. They respect the player's time. This right here is just an utter disregard to respecting the player's time. And that's what I've felt for the last, 20 minutes now, where this stuff is long in the tooth and it's going on too long. And the game is got an incredible world and really cool world building, but it's given me no reason to care about it. It's just giving me reasons to dislike it. And that's a problem. That is a huge problem. Now, these are first impressions, of course. If I continue to play the game, I'm sure I'd be fine with it. We'd start getting into the drama and the action and everything. But hear me out for a moment. If you jumped into watching Star Wars and the first, 30 minutes of the movie was just people talking to each other about mundane, boring stuff, and it wasn't until 30 minutes in that you got Luke Skywalker, or actually here, let's put it this way. It wasn't 30 minutes in until you got the whole sequence on the cruiser with Princess Leia and putting the message in R2-D2 and Darth Vader coming in. No, you get that right at the beginning of the movie, and there is a funny thing that happens with writing, which is usually, if you want to hook the viewer or the reader or the player in this case, you put something exciting and dramatic up at the front, you hook their attention, and now their attention is hooked, and you can do all of this stuff over the course of the game. But the game has given me no reason to care about this. The game is straight up just giving me utter disregard by my instruction will take exactly as long as I deem necessary. I lecture, you listen. Am I clear? No, you're not clear. I don't feel like this is good game design or writing.
The scientist puts the clipboard aside, raises his watch for a closer look, and sets the timer. He shows you his watch dial.
According to the rules of this briefing, I have to touch on a large number of topics. Therefore, I will do so very briefly. Do not interrupt me. When I'm finished, I'll answer your questions, within regulations, of course.
But why? But why? There is no reason to just throw a bunch of exposition at me that doesn't matter because I don't care about the game at this point, right? And that's a huge problem with new RPGs that don't have a stable of people who are used to jumping in and writing RPGs for one and then designing them. It is a problem. You have to hook the player. And I'm not saying every single game has to have some crazy dramatic entrance with getting the player hooked. That's not the case. You can do a lengthy explainy intro and have it be good. There are game examples of that. But in this case, my first impressions are I'm really interested in the world and the characters, and I love what they've set up with the lore. I just don't need it explained to me. I need you to throw me in and do something dramatic with it and make it seem cool and exciting and not explain to me something so mundane that you could have this done already.
Sebastian produces his handheld and clicks some buttons.
I checked your scanner. It's working and is connected to the Minerva database. Everything you scan will earn you Kronos or Forefathers knowledge points.
The instructor watches you with displeasure.
Are you listening? Scan everything that might be of scientific interest. First of all, anomalies. They could be dangerous. Make sure to always have medication with you.
He places a canvas pouch in your hand.
This pouch is full of bolts. You can temporarily discharge an anomaly by throwing a bolt into it. It's primitive, but reliable.
Van Olden pushes a button on his stopwatch.
So, my oral briefing fell within the allotted span of time. Any questions you want to ask me?
Nope.
The scientist glances at his watch again.
You're within the time limit for questions. The next step is training in the artificial ecozone.
He rests one finger on the button in preparation to start the timer.
You're going to go downstairs and scan relics. I will be monitoring your progress. Please note there are several radioactive anomalies in the ecozone. These are the same conditions you'll be working in the field. Radioactive zones and relics are quite common under the dome.
He smoothly extracts a jar of yellow pills from his pocket.
Here's your Arad 3. And one more thing. Just a moment.
Wait, what's he doing now? He's just taking off?
Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world.
Where's he going? Oh, is he like... I'm so confused. Listen to this information. Useful all wings, receive color for it. No. I don't know where he went. Okay, well, actually, for first impression videos, an hour is usually my limit, and we've hit that limit. So I think I'm gonna wrap up my first impressions here. Number one, I've got 3 points I want to make. Number one, I think this game is actually going to be really good and hook me and be a lot of fun, but it requires more time investment than I am willing to give, and that's a problem. Number two, it never hooked me. that's a huge problem. It never. I was hooked with the story and like the elevator and talking to people and being like, oh, this is really cool. But I was expecting something cool to happen. It was like, here's this storm, but then it didn't do anything with it yet. And it goes into all of these explaining tutorials, which I don't need. Just don't give me, game design wise, just don't give me reasons to need that stuff yet. Span the tutorial stuff over the course of the first, hour and a half of playing, 2 hours of playing. And you know what? Actually, here's a better example. If you want the best example of this, go play Deathloop. Deathloop is a richly complex game that is the epitome of a masterfully done intro. It throws you into the world. It does it dramatically. It shows you why you should be interested in what's going on. And every step of the way, it's teaching you something new in a fun way, in a way that is not annoying and in a way that is not disruptive. It teaches you things slowly enough that you're like, okay, I got it. I understand how this works. And you're slowly learning how to ride the bike per se, and then as you get further and further into the game, it's slowly teaching you more and more skills. And you're like several hours into the game and it finally kind of finishes teaching you everything. And then you're ready to go. But you never at any point during that time feel like, oh, they're going to teach me something new again. Like, I don't need something new. I just want to play the game. Let me play the game. Stop talking. Like, it doesn't do any of that. It just throws you in and gives you that action. And that's obviously, it's a different genre of game. That's an immersive sim, but there are quite a lot of crossovers between an immersive sim and something like this, where you have, hundreds of options available to you with how you go about doing things. But that is what I'm talking about. And if you want to see, a good example of what I'm talking about, go play Deathloop, because it's definitely the game of 2021. And then the final point is, this is just the beginning, and I think that the rest of the game has its potential, and that they stumbled on their tutorialism. But I think that the rest of it could very well be good. And if you're interested in games like this, you have other games like Shadowrun. The whole Shadowrun series is very good. It's a little different. You have Divinity, obviously. I think that those are great games. You've got Baldur's Gate 3, which is it's still in early access as the time making this video, but that's options for, checking this out. Or you could just go get this, because it's actually not expensive, and they put a lot of work into it. And I appreciate the work that they've put into it. I just wish that it would have hooked me a little faster. And of course, I'm not saying these things to be mean. I'm just saying it out of just love, because I always want games to be better than they are. We can always improve on things. Nothing's ever perfect. And for me, this is something that could have been improved at the beginning of this game. But personally, I'm going to give this game a fair shot. I'm going to spend a little bit more time into it and see if it does hook me. And, if it does, maybe I'll do a follow-up video rather. If you're interested in seeing what else this game has to offer, you could pick it up. I put it in a link to the store page in the description of this video. And if you are going to pick it up, use that link, because it ends up helping the channel in the long run. But with all that being said, I'm stumbling over my words, because now I'm just like rambling on about how it's a weird thing. I like this game. I think this game is cool. I just don't like the intro of this game. And it's weird to balance that thing. And it's hard to talk about that. It's hard to convey that, where I'm not just sounding super negative or super positive on it, where it's more like, I like this game. I just wish that the intro was a little bit more action, a little less explaining. So with all of that being said, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of this game in the comments below. Do you agree? Were you bored about the same time I was, or were you interested the whole way through? Let me know, but we shall see you guys next time.